Kumarswami College Ausa, which is run by Sri Mahantaswami Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Ausa. I heartily welcome all the respected dignitaries and participants here on the virtual dais. The occasion is the national webinar, and this national webinar is the part of a mega series, a long series of hundreds of webinars. And this webinar series was started on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee year of the institution. The theme of webinar is very clear, and it is women empowerment, women dignity, and environmental conservation. The objectives of the webinar series are to give and take knowledge, to enrich knowledge, and through discussions try to find out answers to questions and solutions to problems. And this can be helpful for the individuals, the society, and the nation. The webinar series is going on very successfully without any interruption. The reason is strong academic leadership and innovative management of the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar Sir, and moral support of the institution. In the beginning of this national webinar, I welcome him as the chairperson of this webinar. Today I am very pleased to announce that we have the honorable dignitary and keynote speaker, Dr. Supriya Singh Gupta, who is an associate professor at Gokhale Education Society's HPT Arts and RYK Science College, Nasik. She is going to deliver her keynote speech on the topic Ozone and its impact on humans. On behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I heartily welcome you, ma'am, as a resource person for this national webinar. I also welcome all organizing committee members, including Vice Principal Dr. S.D. Misal Sir, Junior College Supervisor Ravindra Karanje Sir, Praveen Udge Sir, who is Supervisor of MCVC, and IQVC Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kale Sir, Dr. Anita Dhole Ma'am, Dr. Sudhir Garad Sir, Ambadas Khillari Sir, Dr. Patwari Sir, and Dr. Wadkar. We all are here to listen and to be audience to the keynote speech by the honorable speaker. But before that, I request Dr. Anita Dhole Ma'am, who is one of the organizing committee members of this webinar series, for the introduction of today's chief guest and resource person. Please, ma'am, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this grand national and international webinar series. On occasion of Golden Jubilee year of the college, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa has organized a wonderful grand knowledge sharing webinar series with the aim of women empowerment and women dignity. So from pandemic days, the series is going on very successfully and systematically because of the hard efforts of the respected principal Dr. Ambedkar MM, all the resource persons and the punctual participants. So I am very thankful to respected principal for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Many special thanks goes to all the respected organizing committee members and big thanks to all the respected participants. Those are joining daily from all over India and abroad also, and they are making this series a very successful series. So it's my pleasure. I'm here to introduce today's keynote speaker, Honorable Dr. Supriya Singh Gupta ma'am, who is Associate Professor at Gokhale Education Society's HPT Arts and RYK Science College from Nasik's Impact and MSc Zoology from University of Delhi, MPhil and PhD. She is also UGC NET qualified. She guided 19 students for MSc projects. She has published number of research papers on national and international level. She published 6 books.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this webinar series to provide me this opportunity to speak in front of you. And now I would like to start with my session. May I, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Comes first in mind when you hear the term ozone. I'm sure something like this, where this is our Earth, and the Earth is covered by a layer called as ozone layer, which protects the Earth from the harmful UV rays of the sun. Now let's understand what the ozone is. So the ozone is a molecule which is made up of 3 oxygen atoms, as we can see here, 1, 2, 3. Now let's find out how this ozone is formed. So the radiation from the sun photolyzes the oxygen molecule, that is O2, the oxygen which we breathe in. So this oxygen molecule is broken down into oxygen atoms. Now one of this oxygen atom combines with the oxygen molecule to form the ozone, that is O3. So the O3 and O2, that is ozone and oxygen molecule, they are in a dynamic equilibrium in the atmosphere. So let's find out where this ozone layer is located. Now again, this is our Earth, and these are the different layers of atmosphere. So the first and the foremost layer is the troposphere, the layer of the atmosphere in which we breathe. So beyond this troposphere is the layer of the stratosphere, and it is the layer where the ozone is actually located. So now we know that the ozone is located in the stratosphere layer of the atmosphere. So we can say that 90% of the ozone is actually located in the stratosphere. However, 10% of ozone is located in the troposphere, that is the lower layer of the atmosphere where we actually breathe in. So the ozone which is present in the stratosphere is called as the good ozone, whereas the ozone present in the troposphere layer is called as the bad ozone. So what we can do about the bad ozone? So before going to this, we must know from where this bad ozone comes. So till now we know that the ozone generation is a natural process. But actually it is not true. So till now we know that the creation of ozone in the stratosphere is due to the radiation of the sun, which photolyzes the oxygen atom, and then the oxygen atom combines with the O2 to give O3. That is how it is naturally created. But in the troposphere, the layer in which we breathe in, the ozone is created by the man-made properties or activities like fossil fuel combustion, biogas burning, like the fossil fuel or the power plants, which leads to the elevated level of carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides and hydrogen oxides. And these compounds, along with the VOX, that is volatile organic compounds, which are also present in our paints. So these chemicals, they undergo series of reactions to finally form the ozone. So that is how we get the ozone in the troposphere layer. So what is the role of the ozone in the atmosphere? Ozone in the stratosphere shields us from the harmful rays. So the 90% ozone which is actually present in the stratosphere has a job of shielding the Earth from the harmful UV rays. So that is a good ozone definitely. And the ozone which is present in the troposphere acts as a pollutant. So that is a bad ozone. So we can say that good ozone and bad ozone are the two sides of a coin. Now let's review the current scenario. So if we consider the current scenario, there is a decrease in the ozone concentration in stratosphere. Means to 90% ozone present है stratosphere में, which is a good ozone, there is a decrease in that. And on the other hand, there is an increase in the ozone concentration which is present in the troposphere, which is the bad ozone. The bad ozone बढ़ रही है और जो good ozone है that is decreasing in amount. So the overall scenario is bad. So effect of these changes. Now decreasing ozone concentration in the stratosphere leads to the formation of ozone hole. That is, the thinning of this layer is called as the ozone hole. So this ozone hole allows the UV rays to penetrate into the Earth's atmosphere and affect us. On the other hand, where we have increasing ozone concentration in the troposphere, there the ozone acts as a pollutant, which leads to the oxidative stress in all the living forms. So let's review the ozone depletion in the stratosphere. So this blue colored thing, we can see that here the ozone layer has been depleted or has been thinned out. So this is termed as the hole from where the UV rays can penetrate into the environment. So what did we use as ozone depleting substances? Because this ozone depletion is purely or is majorly caused by the human activities. So the compounds responsible for this are CFCs, that is chlorofluorocarbons, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, which are used in refrigerators and air conditioners, foams and aerosol propellants. HCFCs and halogens are also used in the fire extinguishers. Methyl chloroform is used as a solvent in the industrial processes, and on the other hand, methyl bromide is used for the fumigation of soil, structure and goods to be imported and exported. Whatever grains or food material or anything which we are importing or exporting, that is generally fumigated with the methyl bromide, which is an ODS, that is ozone depleting substance. Now let's review the process of ozone depletion. The CFC. These are the chlorofluorocarbons. Now these chlorofluorocarbons are released into the environment. The sunlight breaks these CFCs and releases the chlorine. So actually chlorine is the active atom which is going to combine with the ozone and breaks it. So this is how the ozone is broken down in the stratospheric layer, which helps in the formation of the ozone hole. But the situation changed in 1987 when the Montreal Protocol was implemented. Montreal Protocol actually phased out the usage of ozone depleting substances, and all the countries under the UN, they agreed to follow this. However, there are still certain ODSs which are in use, like methyl bromide, which is an extremely effective quarantine fumigant, still in use. Similarly, halon, they have immediate fire suppression qualities. So these qualities are really essential when we are working in the closed environment, like in the aeroplane and in the submarines. Similarly, methyl chloride is a popular industrial solvent, and we do not have any other suitable alternative for these ODS. So we are still using it, but the usage has been decreased to a great extent. Now the question is, are there any natural substances which are aiding in the depletion of the ozone? So yes, volcanoes and oceans, they releases large amount of chlorine which are again reacting with the ozone and breaking it down. So I can say the situation is under control because of the Montreal Protocol, which has phased out most of the ODSs. So all is well. Now our real enemy is actually the ozone, which is present in the troposphere. So this is the ozone pollution in the troposphere. As we have discussed earlier also, that ozone in the troposphere is created by the man or the humankind because of the fossil fuel combustion, biomass burning and different paints which are enriched in the box. Now this is the report of 2018. Now we can see these orange and reddish areas. These are the areas where ozone concentration is very high in the tropospheric condition, means it is acting as a pollutant in these areas. And we can see that majority of the India is actually covered with this pollutant. So definitely it is an issue of concern. Now, what is the cause of this? So the cause of this is rapid urbanization and expansion of traffic and industry. We can see that in the past 20 years, the condition of the traffic and industrialization has really taken up its. And if the condition is man-made, then definitely lockdown would have been an impact on this condition. Now let's see how it has impacted. Now this is the satellite image from 1st of Jan to 24th March 2020, just before the implementation of the lockdown in India. So here we can see these orange spots. They signifies the dense ozone in the troposphere, means the ozone actually which is acting as a pollutant. And in the next month, we can see 25th March to 20th April, not even a month. एक महीना भी नहीं हुआ, and we can see a remarkable change in this scenario, that these concentrated areas have been diminished from the map. So the ozone has been taken care. Now how this ozone impact our lives? This ozone impact the agriculture, it impacts the health, and when these two sectors are affected, definitely it is going to impact the economy. The ozone reduces the crop yield, and it is really astonishing that ozone-induced crop damage is sufficient to feed 94 million people in India. So we can evaluate the intensity of this matter. Now let's see the impact of ozone dynamics on the human health. There is an imbalance in the ozone dynamics. Now we know that the ozone is present in the stratosphere as well as in the troposphere. Stratosphere में जो ozone है, that should be high in concentration so that it can protect us from the UV rays, and the concentration of ozone in the troposphere should be minimum so that we will be free of the pollutant. But there is an imbalance. How there is an imbalance? There is a decrease in the ozone which is present in the stratosphere, यानी जो good ozone है that is decreasing, and the bad ozone, that is the ozone present in the troposphere, is increasing. Now this decreased ozone in the stratosphere is allowing the harmful UV rays to penetrate into the Earth's environment and increasing our exposure to it, whereas ozone in the troposphere is creating the oxidative stress in the living forms. So let's see the consequences of decreased ozone in the stratosphere. So first we will talk about the UV-induced harm. Eye, skin and immune system are the organ or systems which are highly impacted by the UV radiations. This UV-induced cataract. A recent study has established a fact that increased UV exposure leads to the formation of cataract. And in this picture we can see it is a nuclear cataract, means the cataract which is present between the eye. So the nuclear cataract is majorly related to the occupational sun exposure, means. Hello? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, madam, please continue. You are perfectly audible.
Okay, thank you. So this nuclear cataract is related to the occupational sun exposure. That means the people who are working outside, they have field duties, they have more exposure to the sun, are more prone to this type of cataract. And in those, the age group between 20 to 29 is at the greater risk. Means the younger you are, at more risk you are at. And 0 to 1% depletion in the ozone concentration can increase the cataract prevalence by about 0.26%, which is actually a huge number when we bring it down to a population. Now this is another issue related to the UV exposure. This is UV-induced pterygium. Now we can see here a wing-shaped inflammatory proliferative growth which is partly induced by the intracellular damage caused by the UV radiation. Now this inflammation, it grows towards the center of the cornea and impairs the vision. And for this, the peripheral light seems to be responsible. Now let's understand what is the peripheral light. Now in this figure you can see this is an eye, and this is the nasal anterior chamber angle of the eye, means the corner of the eye towards the nose, and this is the peripheral region from where the light is approaching. Now we can see this in this diagram, the light is approaching from the peripheral region and it is entering the eye, and then it is focusing the nasal anterior chamber angle, and this is the portion from where the pterygium starts. So the peripheral light is actually responsible for this. The UV induced skin cancer. The sunburns, you must be familiar with the sunburns. Sunburns are the inflammatory reaction towards the UV radiations. And it also causes the non-melanoma skin cancer, means the cancer which is non-malignant, यानी जो spread नहीं होता है, and melanoma skin cancer which is malignant, which spreads fast. Now the reason for this non-melanoma skin cancer is early life and intermittent sun exposure with sunburns, or it could be chronic lifelong exposure. या तो अर्ली लाइफ में एक्सपोजर बहुत ज़्यादा मिल रहा है, यानी एट द यंगर एज, या फिर थ्रू आउट लाइफ मिल रहा है, पर धीरे धीरे थोड़ा थोड़ा मिल रहा है, बट थ्रू आउट लाइफ मिल रहा है, then it can lead to the non-melanoma skin cancer. And in the case of malignant cancer, generally the pigment cells of the skin are responsible for this, and it is because of the exposure of UV at a very young age. Now the another aspect of the UV is UV induced immunosuppression. We all know that our immune system equipped us to deal with the different types of infections. It fights back against the infection, be it a virus, viral infection, bacterial infection, parasitic, or it could be fungal infection also. So if there are different types of infections, and if your immune system is suppressed because of the UV exposure, then definitely you are prone to several diseases like herpes simplex virus. That virus is, I think in Marathi it is called as Parisarp Rog. So this herpes simplex virus is actually, if it is present in the latent condition, it can be activated by simple UV exposure. Similarly, papilloma virus is there, different fungal infections are there, different bacterial diseases are there, different parasites are there, which can infect you if your immunity or immune system is suppressed. And this also involves a decreased vaccine efficacy. We all know that how the vaccine work. So these vaccine, when vaccine are injected in our body, they elicit the immune response. And in turn, our immune system synthesizes the different antibodies against that particular strain. So if our body is pre-exposed to the UV, then UV is going to suppress our immune system. And if the immune system is suppressed and then you have taken a vaccine, then definitely the efficacy of the vaccine will be less, because the less antibodies will be generated against that vaccine. Thankfully, Montreal Protocol has decreased the efficacy of all these medical conditions. Now, what if there would have been no Montreal Protocol? So, according to a study in US, there would have been 280 million cases of skin cancer. These are the additional cases. 1.5 million skin cancer death, and around 45 million cataract cases, and the world would be at least 25% hotter. Now, what we can do to protect ourselves from harmful UV radiations? So these are few things which we can do. We can wear the UV protective jackets, full jackets. We can use sunscreen or suntan lotions, but again their usage should be restricted, because they are found to have estrogenic activities which can temper the reproductive system. Or we could simply seek the shade under the trees, and if we are under the sun, then we can wear the full clothes and hats with proper rim. We can plant more greenery around us, because these green plants or the grass, they absorb almost all the UV radiations, only reflecting 2.5% of it. So that is again helping us. Or we can wear the glasses, UV protective glasses. But now we have to take care of one thing, that glasses or the sunglasses or the clear glasses, UV protective clear glasses you're wearing, they should have full coverage. Because if they are covering the front of the eyes, then the peripheral UV exposure will be high. So they should be full covered UV protective glasses, or we can wear the hats with the diameter of around more than 10 centimeter, because then only it protects our eyes. And the another alternative is we can consume good fruits, so that we can have ample of antioxidants in our body which can fight back. Now the consequences of increased ozone in the troposphere. This is the actual matter of concern. So the ozone-induced oxidative stress. So let's understand what is the oxidative stress. When the ozone, when our body is exposed to ozone, whether dermally or we inhale the ozone when it is present in the atmosphere, the ozone allows the formation of reactive oxygen species. These are the reactive species or reactive molecules which then combines with the other biomolecules in our body, like our DNA, our proteins like our enzymes, hormones, lipids. So they are going to interact with the biomolecules, and then they create several issues. Issues like in skin, if we talk about, in skin, the upper layer and even the lower layer of the skin, if it is exposed to the ozone, the reactive oxygen species count increases and antioxidant property decreases in our body. And in the case of lungs, the capacity of lung decreases when we inhale ozone for a longer duration. And in adolescent, the smaller airways, it leads to the formation of the smaller airways. So creates several respiratory diseases and further. And if we talk about liver, the ozone exposed liver show enhanced effect of drug-induced liver injury. We all know that whenever we have a disease and the drugs have been given, our liver detoxify these drugs. So it eliminates it. So when the liver or a person is exposed to too much of ozone, then the detoxification property of the liver is hampered, और जो self healing है उसकी वो भी कम हो जाती है. And if we consider the case of heart, then the efficacy or the functionality of heart is also hampered with the prolonged exposure of ozone. And if we talk about the brain or the nervous system, the person exposed to too much ozone feels fatigue, headache is there, and lethargy is there. So it basically affects the mental performance of a person. Now, ozone-induced oxidative stress. Impact of ozone pollution in India. Premature mortalities associated with the exposure to ozone have been estimated around these many 57,000 premature mortalities in 2012, and 12,000 people have been estimated for mortality caused by the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And the economic cost, if we'll consider, it is going to cost 640 billion in 2012. That survey has been taken up. So what can we do to protect ourselves from this oxidative stress, which is because of the ozone present in the tropospheric layer? We can replace the cleaning agents with vinegar and bicarbonates. We can maintain our AC and refrigerators. We can use public transport. We can use organic food so that the pesticide usage will be less and the fumigants will be less used. And we can plant different plants which helps us to clean the environment, like aloe vera. Aloe vera absorbs several pollutants from the environment and reduces the impact of oxidative stress. Now, the last thing which I would like to say is that this coin has the third side also. There were two sides of the ozone, the bad side and the good ozone. Right, now there is a third side to the ozone, that is the ozone therapy. What is this ozone therapy? In this ozone therapy, we use the mixture of O2 and O3, यानी वो ऑक्सीजन जो हम ब्रीद इन करते हैं and ozone. They are used in the medical application and are known to manage the antioxidant enzymes. And they activate the antioxidant enzymes like superoxide dismutase and reducing the glutathione levels. And they are used for the treatment of several diseases such as vascular diseases, wound healing, viral diseases such as hepatitis, AIDS, and even autoimmune disorders. The other certain conditions which are treated by the ozone therapy are artery diseases like COPD, cardiac events like coronary artery disease or heart attack, orthopedic issues like osteoarthritis, chronic pain like in neck or back, excuse me, immune system disorders like fatigue disorder and autoimmune disorders, gastrointestinal disorders like hepatitis C, liver cirrhosis and ulcers, tissue damage like diabetic foot, and neurological disorders like Alzheimer's and sclerosis. Now these are the different ways by which the ozone therapy can be given. Like in this figure we can see that there is a chamber and this chamber closes, and in this chamber the ozone and oxygen mixture is released, so the whole body is exposed to it. Or it could be in a confined space, like in a diabetic foot we can use a sealed bag in which the mixture of ozone and oxygen molecule is released, or it can be taken in or inhaled in as a steam. It can be given to your hair. In this picture we can see that the ozone is specifically targeted to the hair because it is known to increase or stimulate your hair growth, and it is also known to resolve the problems of dandruff and hair fall. So this ozone treatment is actually given. The other way by which the ozone can be inoculated is the blood is taken out from the patient and then the blood is bubbled with the ozone gas, and then this blood is transfused again into the patient. Or if it is orthopedic issues, then it can be directly injected to the affected area. So the take-home message is: protect the ozone layer by avoiding the ODS, prevent the formation of ground ozone, which is a pollutant, and ponder over the ozone therapy in times of need. Thanks for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you, ma'am, for your very good speech on the topic ozone and its impact on humans. Talked about all the aspects. Now, after this keynote speech, I request participants, if you have any question or doubt,
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Shukla here. Ma'am, I want to ask one thing. Where you have talked about the therapeutic use of ozone for only the hair growth and dandruff control. Is there any other therapeutic use for cancer, malignancy, or some other aspect?
Yes, sir, it has been used. Like I have told that it is used for treating the diabetic foot, as we can see in this picture. Can you see that? Can you see the screen, sir?
Yeah.
Or it could also be used for treating the orthopedic issues like osteoarthritis. There are several diseases for which it can be used.
Is there any role for malignancy? Because many of the times cell carcinoma, we are finding out some changes. So can we use this for there also?
Sir, we cannot treat the cancer from this, but definitely we can narrow down the side effects of the cancer by using the ozone therapy.
Okay. So I think you are talking about the chemotherapy and radiotherapy.
Yes.
The side effects what patients are getting.
Yes.
We can curtail down those things, right? Correct,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
is there anybody else with any more question, please. Honorable Supriya ma'am has delivered very nice lecture on the topic, and I also thank Dr. Shukla sir, who has asked the question, and because of the answer, the knowledge is added to us. Now after this keynote speech and discussion session, I request Chief Organizer and Chairperson, Honorable Principal, Dr. M. Ambedkar sir, for his concluding words. Please sir, welcome.
Thank you, Professor Karad sir, and today's resource person, Dr. Supriya Singh Gupta madam, all the daily joining members and organizing committee members of our college. Today's topic related to ozone, our health. Today I listened about the bad ozone and good ozone, really, because I am from physics. So I was only thinking that ozone is always bad, but ozone is always good, but it is also a bad ozone. How it is situated in the various concentration, how it is deformed, how it is made up of 2 oxygen, 3 oxygen, like this. What is the effects of our urbanization and all these things going to affect on that. You also showed the picture of the before lockdown, after lockdown. Just we are listening that there is a clear atmosphere, but no one was, I myself not try to find out whether it is the really image or real in thing such happened. And you, with your photographs, I completely understood that lockdown effect is something good on the environment. Also there are some therapeutic use of ozone also you have said, how it is affected on this. And I am seeing so much medals in the background wall of you, so I think it's of yours, and you receive more and more awards by you. Thank you for accepting the our invitation for joining this webinar series. This series is going to conclude within 3 days, and we are filing the record of link of book record, and you are one of that supporter of us. Very nice speech, madam. You are from YCMOU main center of Nasik, so it's our university of our college also, and your college was also invited me for patent lecture, but I think that happened or not, I don't know, but there was invitation from Nasik. Anyway, thank you for your contribution, thank you for your good speech and best PPT, very best animation, effective animation, useful animation. No was the matter which is unrelated one. Thank you, madams. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now at the end, vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Dr. Supriya Gupta ma'am, who has accepted the invitation of our college, spared her precious time to deliver knowledgeable lecture on the topic ozone and its impact on humans. All the factors related to the topic have been explained to us. So on behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series, I thank you, ma'am. I also thank Chief Organizer and Chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir, who has been an inspiration for us, and he is making continuous efforts to run this webinar series, and topics related to all the fields near about have been given in this webinar series, because of which we are enjoying and enriching our knowledge. So thank you, sir. I also thank participants for their punctual attendance, patient listening, for their doubts and questions. And because of the explanations and answers, the knowledge is again enhanced. And so I thank all the participants. I also thank Dr. Anita Dole ma'am for giving introduction of today's honorable speaker. And now I request participants, please fill feedback link to have your certificate, and at the end, with the permission of Chief Organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir, I announce here that today's webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.